All right. So thank you all for listening today. We are going to be interviewing Ashley. And for those of you that saw her before and after picture, you know she's going to have some wonderful advice to give us today on how to live a healthy lifestyle. Many of us come at different stages in the game. So there's some of us that we just started. This is our day one of trying to figure out how to eat healthy and exercise. And for some of us, we've been in a situation where we've been bodybuilding, we've been athletes, and we know what to do, but for a lot of us, we're just not doing it. So part of today's interview is going to be related to what keeps Ashley motivated and going, and you can also implement some of her techniques to help you along your journey as well. For those of you that have not seen my previous videos introducing you to different women across the country, and understanding what sparks their motivation to eat healthy and exercise. My name is Ebonie, and I have actually always been pretty much accustomed to being physically active from the time I was young, doing things like gymnastics and just playing with friends outside, but I wasn't always someone that ate healthy. So that did not begin until I was in my early 30s. So I'm telling you that to say that everyone that you see started at a different stage of life. So we're going to keep that in mind today as we listen to Ashley and just have that understanding that you are not a failure because you started later on in life. You're also someone that can always seek out encouragement from people at different stages of the game. You guys, I am a certified holistic nutrition coach, and I coach from the standpoint of understanding that it's not always about just knowing what nutrition is and knowing what is a healthy food item, but also understanding how our external circumstances, which change daily, can affect what we eat on a day-to-day basis. And it also affects whether or not we're going to indulge in exercise. Ashley is actually a part of my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group. That's Nutrition, the number 4, Busy Women Facebook group. And I'm going to include the link in the comments for those of you that are interested in joining. It's a positive, very like-minded group of women that are encouraging and supportive. I haven't had any negative issues in the group, which says a lot about the women that are in it. So if you guys are interested in joining that, please share it with your friends, and I'd invite you to participate as well. But enough about me. Let's hear from Ashley. Ashley, tell us just a little bit about what even sparked your interest in pursuing a healthy lifestyle.
I was at work one day and I was looking at Facebook, and I noticed that a lot of my family members had started losing weight. All my fat cousins were skinny. And I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be the fat cousin. I was like, I got to do something different. So that's what I swore at that moment I was not going to drink a large Coke from McDonald's ever again. And then after that, it just was little changes.
Okay. So what kind of resources did you turn to in the beginning? Because for many of us, we'll, see the magazine articles at the newsstand, the grocery store, and, they offer 1,001 different tips, and they know how to, appeal to our senses so that we feel like, we can lose this weight in 10 minutes, but it's not always that easy. They know how to appeal to our senses. You know what I'm talking about. So what is it that really helps you to get going and stay consistent? What type of resources out there?
When I first started losing weight, I was really scared that I would fall back into not, failing myself. I was really, really scared that I was going to start and it would get too hard. It would get too difficult. But luckily, I had a coworker who had lost, she had lost like 30 pounds. Her name is Alicia. And she every day would text me, or I would see her at work and she'd be like, okay, what are you doing? And she was a really big support to me in the beginning. And even now we still work together and she still checks on me, even though I've lost so much weight. She's still a big support. So it was having somebody in my corner that always was like, she was my cheerleader. you know, and every time I lost a pound or every time I ran into a challenge, Alicia was like always there. So as the weight was like 5 pounds, and then I lost 10 pounds, and then I lost 15 pounds, she was so supportive, and it was encouraging for her to be so motivated to encourage me. So she was a big supporter, and she's the one that like started telling me, like, I would write down all my meals, and she was like, well, you know, try my fitness pal, or, you know, try running, you know, or jogging. And I couldn't run at all. Like 10 seconds I would get winded, because, you know, I was 300 pounds. And so I just started doing different things every day. So it was definitely having somebody who really supported me, you know. And then I started realizing that, hey, nobody cares if I'm fat but me. Like, I'm the one that matters. It matters to me more than it matters to my kids. It matters to my husband. It mattered to, you know, the doctors didn't care. I qualified for the weight loss surgery. So it was having someone that really supported me, you know, is what really kept me going.
Okay. And what did you do to be able to lose so much weight? Because that's usually people's first question. So what exactly did you do so that I can emulate what you did?
You know, the first thing I did was I gave up sodas. That's the first thing. I gave up sodas. And it was hard because I was drinking like 4 sodas a day, like the 22-ounce bottles, or I would drink like a can. I drank so much soda. Mountain Dew, Pepsi. I drank the hard stuff.
Yeah.
No Sprite, no ginger ale. No, I drank Pepsi and Coke. So I stopped drinking soda, which I had headaches for like the first week and a half. I tried everything, you know, like they tell you in magazines, oh yeah, put half water and then half soda. That's disgusting. Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah.
I just went cold turkey. I was like, you know, I don't need the soda. So that was the first thing I did. And then the second thing was I stopped eating McDonald's. If I would have to go because I have 4 kids, I would try to get like the salad, but not eat the dressing. You know, I wouldn't put the dressing on it, or I would get the grilled chicken and still not put the dressing on it. So that was another thing. I just stopped eating hamburgers and chicken nuggets. I try to cut down on the pizza, but pizza is like my favorite thing ever. So that was the second thing. And then I stopped eating condiments like ketchup and mayonnaise, because you don't realize how many calories are in condiments, like sugar, spoonfuls of sugar, honey. Even honey has a lot. I mean, it just has so many calories. And then Alicia was like, well, did you try my fitness pal? So I was like, you know, I'll try it. I downloaded that, and then I started logging in everything. Like, even when I would go to Costco and like taste the samples of stuff, I would still log it in as a calorie because you know, it counted. So that was my thing. And then slowly but surely, the weight started coming off. It was like a pound. And then I was like, you know, I'm gonna start going to the gym. And so I started at the gym maybe like a month into it. I had lost like 20 pounds the first month. And I started, and it basically was water weight. It was like because of the soda, you know, the sodium levels. And so I started going to the gym, and I could only do an hour. I would do 30 minutes on the treadmill, and then I would do like the elliptical, and it would probably be like 15. And I was in so much pain in the beginning. Like, my legs hurt, everything. Legs would swell up. And then I would go into the bathroom, you know, and look at myself, and I would like boo-hoo cry because I was like so emotionally, you know, it was so emotional. And then so I counted my calories, and then I started jogging. And then I was still hungry all the time because, you know, I cut my calories. So I started drinking green tea. Whenever I would get really, really hungry, I found that like drinking hot stuff, like hot tea, and the green tea with like the raw lemon or Splenda. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, don't drink Splenda, but that's what I could afford with Splenda, because Truvia and stevia, that is so expensive. So I would drink hot stuff. And then I found that I was still hungry, and then I started trying the Garcinia Cambogia And that helped. But what they don't tell you is you can't drink it with cold water. You have to drink it with something hot because the capsule doesn't release in the cold water. And so that helped, and then my body got used to it. So it's really just the counting my calories, the exercising, and the and drinking the tea. The tea really helped. So I don't know, everybody's different, but the tea really did help me.
Okay. And tell me about times that you just didn't feel like eating healthy or exercising. Because I know that there were probably various moments when you felt like, I want to go back to my McDonald's that I'm used to, or maybe you felt like, I just don't feel like walking today. I don't feel like doing any exercise. I won't even think about exercising. So how often did those times come, and did you take a break during those times, or did you go back to eating healthy because you know that that's what you needed to do?
You know, every day I felt like quitting. Every day I wanted to just say, I'm not going to do it. But what I did was I joined a gym. I joined Planet Fitness in Ivy City. And Ivy City is it's in DC. It's on New York Avenue. They're redoing that area. So I joined Planet Fitness, and Planet Fitness is actually in between my job and my house. So I have to pass the gym to get home, and I have to pass the gym to get to work. So I would go as soon as I left work, and I joined a yoga studio. I joined a Bikram yoga studio in Ivy City, and it was the same place. It's right down the street from the gym. So there's like no excuses. Like I literally have to pass to get to work. And you know, you start feeling guilty. Okay, you know, I need to get to the gym. So I would go as soon as I left work. So that made it easy for me to be accessible to the gym. I didn't join anything that was really, really far away.
Right.
And there have been a lot of challenges as far as the weight loss. My husband just passed in September. September 26th, he died. He was 37, and I wanted to quit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The whole time I wanted to quit. I didn't want to exercise. But the day after he died, I was sitting on my couch trying to figure out, you know, what am I going to do? The kids are at school because I can't stop their routine. Sitting on my couch, I can't go to work. So what am I going to do? So I went to the gym. I sat there. I was at the gym for like 2 hours. You know, I ran on the treadmill. At this point, I had already lost 100 pounds. So, you know, I was pretty used to my routine. But I ran and cried the whole time. But, you know, what I found is because I work out so much, that it's my relief. Like even if I wanted to lay in bed, you know, your body needs it because you start feeling like, hey, I need to go to the gym. And it's hard to stick to the routine. But if you don't go outside, you're like a 5-mile radius, or if you stick to something close to home, it's easy to be accountable, you know, to keep going. So that's what I did. And luckily, the staff at Planet Fitness have been very supportive of my weight loss, and the yoga studio, they've been very, very encouraging. You know, they gave me 3 months for free to keep going. And I've had a lot of people encouraging me because people aren't familiar with people going out and losing extreme amounts of weight naturally without having surgery. You know, I didn't have any surgery, or I didn't take anything to help me lose it. It's just, you know, willpower. And I'm surprised I even have that because I've been fat for 15 years.
Yeah, and you've done it successfully quickly. Do you know how many people say it took me 10 years to lose 100 pounds?
Like, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, you should be happy with losing 1 pound in a month. And I'm like, so quit. I would so quit.
Yeah, you said you lost 20 pounds the first month, right?
Yep, I lost 20 pounds the first. And I think it was water weight. And then after I lost the initial 100 pounds, it started getting harder. So I've lost another like 40 pounds. But it's been a struggle. Like I have literally struggled to lose this last 40 pounds. And even though I'm at my goal weight, which is really crazy because I never thought I would be, I have some of the issues that people who have lost extreme weight have, like the skin issues. It's not as bad because you know, the hot yoga really helped bring some of the elasticity back to the skin. I think with all this sweating, I think that really helped. But I'm toning and I'm working with a trainer, and it's still a struggle every day. So if my body says, hey, you know, we're gonna lose some more weight, then, you know, I'm cool. But for the most part, I'm happy with where I'm at.
What are your thoughts on the body positive movement? Because for some people, they work out for aesthetic reasons, and then there's other people that work out for health only reasons, and there's people that work out for both. So you have a lot of fit shaming. You also have a lot of fat shaming, just people shaming each other, you know, in general. Now, there's people that will say things like, well, you know, I'm 100 pounds overweight and I like the way I look. So no, I'm not going to exercise and eat healthy. I'm going to be happy with where I am. So what are your thoughts on those people that fall into that category?
You know, it's so crazy because I was at Harris Teeter Thursday, right? And there was these two cashiers, they were talking about, you know, weight loss. And I was, one of my coworkers was like, you know, Ashley's lost, you know, like 130 pounds. And the one cashier, she was like really receptive to what I did to lose the weight. And the other one, who was heavier, was like, oh, I'm perfectly fine with the way I look. That's because you had a problem. You didn't like the way that you look. And I said, well, you're right. I didn't like the way that I looked. I didn't like that plus size clothing costs more than skinny clothes. I didn't like the fact that plus size clothing has rhinestones and cheetah print and flowers everywhere. I said, you're right. I didn't like that. I said, but if you're fine the way that you are, if you're fine with the size that you are, then that's on you. I said, but if somebody consciously wants to make a difference and they want to lose weight because they want to, you know, that they want to look different, I said, that's on them. I said, I dreamed skinny. I didn't dream heavy. So it's to each his own. You know, if you want to exercise because it makes you feel good, then exercise because it makes you feel good. If you want to eat because it makes you feel good, then eat. It's to each his own. I have a lot of extremely beautiful, large friends, and I have a lot of extremely beautiful, fit friends. So it's to each his own. Like one of my coworkers, her name is Shanita. She is gorgeous, and she's plus size. So I mean, it's everybody's personal preference.
Yeah, and it really is. And I always tell people that I know some very miserable size zeros, and I know some wildly confident size 20s. You know, so everybody's happiness is everybody's own individual definition of happiness. So for me to sit here and say, no, you need to look like this and you need to eat this, yeah, what is that doing besides me just forcing my opinion on somebody that could care less what I have to say? You know, I can offer them suggestions if they're looking to make change. If you're not looking to make change, then that's your life. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that are looking to make change. So you made an excellent point. You know, you have to look at it. Different people are going to think differently as to what's healthy and what looks good for them. And as you guys see, Ashley has a little child, and she has more than one. So tell me, what is the biggest obstacle with raising a family, being that you want to eat healthy and exercise?
You know, some of the hardest things that I find is that they don't always eat what I want to eat. So making them chicken nuggets and French fries, I really want the chicken nuggets and French fries. But what I try to do is I try to eat before I start. Like I try to eat food before I give it to them. And I have a friend. His name is Eric. He's a trainer. He says, "You're not hungry. You're thirsty." He says, "So drink water." He's like, "Drink a bottle of water." He tells me to drink a bottle of water as soon as I get up in the morning. He says, "Hydrate before I caffeinate." And then he tells me to drink water at night when I'm hungry. So that's really been helping with the cravings at night. The nighttime is the hardest for me. Like when I say it's like my struggle, it is my struggle because at night, you know, that's when your work day has finally over. You're relaxed. I've worked out. I finished my second workout for the day, and I'm just starving. And he's like, "You're not hungry. Drink some water."
Yeah.
And then drink water, or I drink tea, or I try to eat the lowest calorie, you know, my low calorie meals at night. And then during the day, I try to eat more because, you know, you burn more during the day. So it's just the night times are definitely struggle. And the kids do not eat what I eat. Like, they do not want broccoli and grilled chicken, or they want a black bean burger. They just don't want it. I got to make them spaghetti, and I want that. So I just don't eat it.
Yeah, and many of us find that to be the case. You know, you want to eat healthy and exercise, but not everybody in your family or around you is in that mindset at all. Doesn't mean they won't get there, but they're just not right now in that mindset. So if you think about it, let's say you walk down the street, walk past 10 people, maybe one or two of them, maybe, live a healthy lifestyle. So what that means is about 8 or 9 of them don't, and that includes members of our family. So it becomes a little bit more challenging when you want to pursue a healthy lifestyle. And what Ashley had mentioned earlier is that you really develop quicker if you have appropriate support. So she mentioned her coworker in the beginning was really on her, like, okay, what do you want to do and how can I help you get there? If you don't have that type of support, many times you're not going to last very long, because we're so accustomed to, in our culture, living a high stress, like a fast paced, unhealthy lifestyle. All the food that you want is within reach at the nearest gas station or fast food restaurant. You know, we don't promote healthiness in our environment, in most people's environment. So of course it's going to be easier for you to go to the gas station and get dessert when it's staring right in front of your face looking good, and it only costs $1 compared to that $5 salad sitting right beside it.
Yep.
It's just the way that our society is set up. Actually, what are your biggest struggles or biggest moments of improvement when it comes to exercise? Was it having hired a trainer to help you, or do you feel like you had some key moments even prior to having a trainer?
You know, I've never been athletic. I have a sister who's a firefighter. She's always been extremely athletic. I've never been athletic. I was in the army, and that kind of helped me, you know, deal with the aches and pains that come with the exercising. As far as exercising, I think it's consistency, because the more you do, the more you can do later.
Yeah.
I would go to the gym every day, and I walk the treadmill, and then Alicia, the coworker, she's in a run group. It's called Black Girls Run, and she was like, "Come and run the bridge, the Woodrow Wilson Bridge." Now, I don't know if anyone is from this area, but the Woodrow Wilson Bridge is an extremely hard run. Even to walk it is so painful. So I didn't go out with Alicia because, you know, she's a runner. I went out with another coworker. Her name was Katrina, and I walked it. And that first day, it hurt. My entire body hurt so bad, like everything hurt. So after that, I did it all summer, and the MGM was being built. The MGM Grand was being built, so that was cool, you know, to see it go as I was walking. And then as I was able to do that, I was able to do more at the gym, because that prepared me for the pain at the gym, you know, because outside walking and gym walking are totally different. So after I had lost pounds, I didn't lift weights at all while I was exercising. I mean, while I was, you know, losing that first 100 pounds. And I found that I had lost a lot of muscle definition. So I started lifting weights, and I don't know if anyone has I don't know if women go to the gym, but the gym can be very intimidating, because, you know, if you don't know what you're doing, you feel out of place, you feel uncomfortable. And that was my issue, was I didn't know what to do. The good thing about Planet Fitness is they have a circuit, inside there that you do, it's got that red light, green light system, and you do one thing. So that helped me with the weights. And even though I started building muscle, it wasn't, my skin was sagging. So the guy that I actually work out with, his name is Brian McGee. He was a landlord at my job, and I was telling him about some of my insecurities. I said, because when I go to the gym, I said, the guys, they hit on you, and you don't want to really for help, because you don't want them thinking, hey, I'm trying to get with you, when really I just don't know what to do.
Right.
So he was like, well, come work out with me. This is what I do. So I started going to his first 2 sessions were free. So I started going with him, and I started lifting weights. And then when I started lifting weights, I started to feel more confident with my arms. So I started doing Pilates, hot Pilates at my yoga studio. So I started doing that. So between the two, that's how the muscle definition. But the lifting weights has definitely has been a very big exercise struggle for me. And I wish I would have been doing it the whole time, because I've lost, I don't think I would have had as much of the saggy skin if I had been doing it the whole time. So definitely the lifting weights has been one of my biggest struggles with exercising, because walking on the treadmill or the stair climber or the elliptical, I mean, that's just, you just do your 30 minutes, but the weightlifting, you really have to commit to that. So yeah, that's definitely been a struggle.
Yeah, and it's important to find what is interesting to you to stay consistent with it, because if you're doing what you think is the proper way based on what other people have said has been effective for them, but you find it so boring that you're about to cry, you're not necessarily going to stick with it. So it's important to try various types of exercises. So, Ashley, you had mentioned, Pilates and yoga. You walk the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, and I know that bridge because I'm from the DC area, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I've never walked it or ran it, but I've driven over it, and I know that to walk or run it is probably not the easiest. So I think that, definitely
I've tried
different things, and, being open to different things is helpful. Because when you stick to just the treadmill, just the elliptical, people get bored of that after a while. And then that's when you see people fall off and say, this is not for me. I'm just going to be my nice fat self for life. I can never achieve my goals because it's just boring. That's boring, but it might be something else out there that isn't, that you love. Maybe it's taking a dance class.
I've done Zumba. I have literally tried every exercise. The next thing I think I'm going to try is bar. They just opened up a bar studio. I'll try the bar and try CrossFit because they offer free sessions. I'm going to just keep trying until something, I'm just like, this is it for me. This is my thing.
Yeah, and it's good for your body too, because once you do something over and over and over again, you get muscle memorization where it becomes less effective. So, trying different things all the time is not only good for your mind, but it's good for your muscles too. Yeah. What other tips can you suggest? Anything else before we round up? Like any words of encouragement that you could give people, or any tips that you wish you had known before that maybe, they're helpful to you now, but really they could have been helpful to you way back when you first started?
The most important thing that I think that I've learned is that, like I said earlier, nobody cares if you're heavy. Nobody cares. The only person that cares is you. You have to be the one that likes the way you look at the end of the day in the mirror, naked. You. And if you're not happy with the way that you look, then only you can make that change. You have to love yourself enough to want to make the change. And, I heard somebody say, hey, if I can believe in Santa Claus for half of my life, I can believe in myself just as long, if not longer, And so I feel like the biggest tip that I can give anybody is just to love yourself enough to want to be healthy. Because if you're heavy, the doctors get paid. If you're heavy, the funeral homes get paid because that you get the bigger casket. You know, you have to yourself, you know, and that, and we all, and like with moms, because I have 4 kids, they're always before me, you know, I always put their needs before me. But what I found is if I'm not healthy, then who's going to take care of them? You know, I have little babies, you know, I have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and my 15-year-old. And when my 15-year-old graduates from high school, I want to look good in her graduation pictures, you
Right.
know, which is cool because her and I are now the same pant size.
So hey, that's less shopping, right? Less money spent on clothes.
Anybody that doubts that they can do it, you can do it. Because I mean, I was really heavy, and even though I've lost all this weight, I still feel like I still have so much more to go. So just believe in yourself, and I wish that I would have known that drinking tea really does not make you feel hungry. Like if you drink tea instead of drinking a Coke, or if you drink tea instead of getting that bag of chips, I'm telling you, it works. It really does work. And then you stay hydrated because green tea is so good for you. So
Yes, and that's the key, finding what works, because it doesn't always work for everybody, but Ashley found something that actually works for her, and that is so key, because when it does work, it gives you a confidence boost too. When you find what works for you, you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm stuck on this now because it's working, and you start to see the results that you're looking for.
right. Yeah.
Ashley, thank you so much for your time. For those of you that are listening, I consistently put out these types of videos. So take a look at the other videos that I've already posted on my YouTube channel and other platforms. And if you're interested in sharing your story, reach out to me. My contact information is in the comments. But if for some reason you can't locate those in the comments, the email address to send me a quick email is Ebonie, Ebonie, at simplicityhealthstyle.com. So again, that's Ebonie at simplicityhealthstyle.com. And my Facebook group is Nutrition, the number 4 Busy Women. So again, that's Nutrition, the number 4 Busy Women. I would encourage you to join us, in addition to inviting your friends as well. It is a women's only group. If you have men that are interested in pursuing a healthy lifestyle journey, you can still send me an email, and I'll direct them to some other Facebook groups that I'm a part of and active in as well. Thank you for participating. And before we go, I just want to say hello to the little face that's peering at me. I have 2 children of my own, and children, they really do watch everything that we do. My kids are currently 10 and 7. And depending on when you look at this, they're only getting older, and they really do mimic what we do. And I'll tell you this, they don't exercise and eat healthy because they thought it was a good idea on their own. They do it because they've seen me do it, and they think that that's supposed to be a part of their life. Thank you so much, Ashley, and for all of you that are listening, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.